Are we live? Can you hear me? Frank Monday coming at you. Straight out the central kingdom of the celestials. Yeah, looks like we might have a connection. I wonder. Yesterday I was able to connect for about 20 minutes. And this morning I was actually able to connect for about a half an hour. And now I tried again and it looks like I might be connected. That would be grand. It is 6 a.m. on the wristwatch. I had to go throw the trash. Now I'm walking back to get in my car and get this show on the road. Uh, Fun stuff. Hope y'all good looking. Hope y'all good looking, sexy people are doing well out in Happy Land today. Fun stuff I wanted to talk about. It's the full moon. The full moon in Aries and about to move into Taurus. Can you hear me all right out in Happy Land? Hey, Atlantean Neo, welcome. Good to see you, sir. Hope you are well. I'm wondering if they're going to lift the ban on the VPN because I've been able to connect a couple of times. And give me a second. It's looking good. It looks like we might be able to have a live stream this morning. That would be dandy. I've been missing the live streaming with you guys, with all y'all good-looking, sexy people out in Happy Land. How you guys doing on your magical challenge? We are at day 72. The Shimham Efarash. Here we go. Let's get in the car. Fire up JP Farrell. And get this show on the road. Nice. Yeah, it was interesting. Over the vacation, for some reason, the whole vacation was just gnarly, smoggy weather, man. And then first day back at work, bam, it was the first day back at work was gnarly, smoggy weather too. But very quickly, the next day, the second day going to work, the sky just opened up, just beautiful azure blue. Let me set those cones back in place. Beautiful azure blue skies with gorgeous wandering clouds. And I would love to get a vantage point to see the moon because there's going to be a full moon. It's the harvest moon, right? The ninth moon in the lunar solar calendar. Let's switch earphones and do a sound check. Give me a yo if you can still hear me. It's nice to know that someone's out there in Happy Land. It's good to see you, man. How have you been doing? Give me a yo if you can hear me still. I switched microphones, so I don't know if I'm still transmitting. Wow, the gas. I left the door open and all the exhaust fumes blew into the car. Yo, 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 good man. Come on, let's get them yos. Get this party started right. I'm coming up, so you better get the party started. I'm coming up. Whew. Amazing how jingles that echo across the mainstream media can get stuck in your head. I mean, Ooh, Jesus, come on, man. I just lost my camera mount. It just disconnected. I bet it's due to the cold weather. That's probably why the camera mount just disconnected. Let me see if I can organize this thing better, bro. Is that gonna stick? Hope it will. Yeah, so Jingles from like 20 years ago pops. Wow, the guy's getting on his e-bike, man. He's fucking going for it. Will get stuck in your head 20 years later. He pops into your head. Now I'm rolling, man. I'm not gonna be able to read the chat, but I'll check real quick what you just said because that looked like a pretty long one. I've been doing good. All right, that's good. Wow, these guys are just standing in the street. Get out of the street, guys. Man, this morning looks like it's already. Folks are just fucking, just getting aggro, stupid. Oh, the agony, agony. Wow, they're not supposed to be out this early. I'm on time, and all these guys are out already, just getting into horseshit antics. That's not good. I better stay focused. There's very seldom when I leave at 6 on the dot. Very seldom is this many goofballs milling about in the middle of the street. Wait, today is day. The what is it, the 9th, the 8th, the 10th. It's the 10th of October. Wow, this is October. It's always one of my favorite months. You know, the whole grim fandango of getting ready for the masquerade ball at the end of the month. So like the whole month long is pretty much a Halloween celebration in my eyes. And I've always enjoyed Halloween and appreciate it as one of the finer pagan holidays. You know, the scares and the spooky ambiance. Wow, that's just gonna rattle, isn't it? Look at that. That camera mount is not doing good, man. There's a kind of bus here in China called the loaf of bread minivan because its shape and style looks just like a loaf of bread on wheels. And yeah, they're called Mianbao Chua. I want to show you guys this view this morning, man. Let's get a look at this. Look at that. The skies just opened up, beautiful. What's the morning twilight called? It's not twilight. It's what the gloaming, just dawn, I guess. Just call it dawn. But look at those buildings. And this dude was just about to try to cut me off, man. The next bridge view is really good. So this is what I'm when there's not smog, this is what the city looks like. It's pretty nice. When there's smog, you can't even see, in front of you. Can't see very far in front of you. But when there isn't smog, it really has a dynamic view. That building right there is 515 meters tall. I always look right here as I head out in the morning because this is due east. The direction I've got you pointed right now is due east. Look, all the night lights just turned off, and the sun will rise there, and you can almost see it coming up now. Then here is on the left. Here are the what they call the World Trade Tower, Tower One, and then Fortune Plaza Tower, and then over here is the CCTV Dakuchar, the one that looks like a pair of they say it looks like a pair of boxer shorts, or it looks like a dude squatting down to take a poop. So that's what that is right there. The CCTV tower. I don't know why they call it a tower. It's not really a tower. The old one was a tower. And BTV, their new building, looks like more like a tower. All right. I will focus on driving though, guys. Get the camera back in its mount and not play any more horseshit games like that. Yeah. Frank Monday coming at you on the live drive. Make sure you guys go over, hit the thumbs up, and check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. I've got some new documents that I'm preparing to upload to buymeacoffee.com. I've got the manuscript in my bag today because this morning at the academy they're having a sports meetup ceremony. Wow, my camera just cut out. Wonder why. That looks kind of crazy. Are we still connected? Give me a yo if you could still hear me. The the video just like scattered. That was weird. So yeah, they're having a sports meetup this morning, and as a result, the morning classes are canceled. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to get into the studio and work on my manuscript for. We're back. Okay, good, Jill. Thank you, Neo. I appreciate that, man. Galungian Neo projecting from ancient Mu through Lemuria and Atlantis into the modern era. What do we call this new modern eon? Oh, it's the Aeon of Horus, right? But do we have a name for it? Maybe the post-Tartarian world. I think it's the fifth age of man is what the some of the mystery schools call it, the fifth age of man, the last most decadent, most degenerate, with the least amount of technology, right? We've got this very archaic cyberpunk style technology, and we no longer know how to utilize free energy sources, and we've lost for the most part, most people have lost their ability at telepathic communication and so on and so forth. And they don't understand the subterrans or the cryptoterrans. They're disconnected from it. But there are those of us who are waking up to our ancient past. So Halloween is a good holiday. Some people in the greater um, Judeo-Christian community vilify Halloween and say that it's all horseshit and evil and of the devil and stuff. And I don't feel it, man. I've always had a very festive, enjoyable time around Halloween. I don't like the worship of like the mainstream Hollywood narrative of like promoting murder movies and stuff like that. That is horseshit, you know. Your classic slasher films, those are just garbage in my opinion. But the romantic, like gothic revival of trying to fathom through, trying to ratiocinate your way through uh, mythological beasts and stuff. I think that's of value. And then organizing the pagan style parties of that harvest season worship. So you can you can do whatever you want with it, right? Like you can make it grand and enjoyable with pumpkins and cider, and everyone dresses up as lords and ladies and prince and princess, and have some of the regalia that's associated with memento mori, right? Remembering your mortality, as it is said in Latin, like the skulls and the clocks, the alien clocks with four hands and dual pendulums, right? So something of the teratological, am I saying that word correctly? I just looked it up in the dictionary and now I still it's beyond me a little bit, but it means those things which are abnormally frightening, right? Like, or at least they wake you up, right? To the normalcy, the beauty in normalcy. For example, a two-headed snake, or a man with six fingers, or a third nipple, right? And those were all kind of deemed as derivations and deviations from perfection. And so if you had a third nipple, a nubbin for the your demon familiar to suckle at the tit of the devil, right? I mean, some of it's just superstition and horseshit, but it's fun. And that's the thing. You got to be able to enjoy the fun of it. I enjoy listening to Professor Hamamoto, but he sometimes is a bit of a stick in the mud. Um, he did a presentation on the corn mazes, maize, right? The corn mazes that folks build around Halloween time, and he's saying that they have a connotation of evil. And he's like, we shouldn't participate in this. We shouldn't participate in Halloween. And I'm like, man, you're missing one of the more enjoyable holidays of the year in the Western culture that really gets back to its pagan roots, right? Teutonic Celtic roots that I think the church sought to usurp. And so I disagree with him on that point. I think that we can enjoy Halloween in a fun and healthful way, bobbing for apples and carving pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns, right? You could go in the sick, demented vein of it if you want, right? You can, uh, you know, worship death and murder and stuff like that. And that's evil and vile. But you can go in the opposite direction too. If you look at some of the older artwork from like the 1950s, it seems like the 1950s in my mind is one of the golden eras of Americana because they were really getting it. You had beautiful housewives that would dress up for their family, and the husband, you might dress up as a vampire or something, and they were enjoying good tobacco and good wines and roast meats and pumpkin pie, and all the children would dress up, like classic mythological crypto terrestrials. Um, and it wasn't until much later on that they started polluting it with a mainstream decadence of Son of Sam, Richard Ramirez style. That was more like the 70s and 80s when the CIA started distorting American culture. So they took what was great, the stamp of Americana, the nuclear family, and even the extended family. I mean, of course, you're going to offer support to the parents in their generation. And they started kind of, I don't know, just polluting all of it and tearing it away from the hands of the people and putting it into the hands of corporate oligarchs to sell plastic pumpkins and synthetic Christmas trees. They commercialized it, right? Capitalism destroyed the Americana of my youth. So grow a pumpkin patch, raise a Christmas tree farm, right? Those were the days of greatness when the family would go out to the pumpkin patch to choose their pumpkins. And you know that they're temporary, right? You see family oriented, family centered businesses. That's the truth of life, man. That's the vitality of the universe. not this robber baron. I mean, didn't we go through an entire century of the robber barons shitting all over everyone and breaking every law, every natural law under heaven, decimating our old growth woodlands and murdering all of the huge troves of wild bison and deer and elk and even even sheep, rams and stuff that roamed the countryside and made each individual nation state great for so many reasons. Yeah. So we already endured 100 years of these guys shitting all over our culture. It's time for us to take it back with a vengeance, right? With a sense of birthright and dignity. We need to bring dignity back to Halloween, not over sexualized uh, slasher horror film, just fucking B level cheese horseshit, right? Kids and parents and families need to unify and get the sewing machine out and buy the fabrics and the patterns and do the crafting at home and pumpkins. It's up to me the first year I got here to China, probably the second or third year after I'd already graduated out of my doctoral program at Tsinghua University, the number one university in China, where I attended my postgraduate research um, into poetry and stuff here in China. So as a Larian, I graduated and I wanted to kind of cast off all of that egg-headedness. And I got out in the garden, which was just in shambles. And the stones of my courtyard was like rubble under my feet. And I practiced kung fu daily. And I grew chili peppers and pumpkins. I turned the whole public space downstairs into a pumpkin patch. And the Chinese folks didn't know what I was up to. But come harvest season, they saw all those golden melons out there and they were grabbing them left and right. And they're like, wow, these are giant, beautiful pumpkins. And so they grabbed them with the intention of eating them, but they didn't realize that they're decorative gourds. They're not really meant to be eaten. They weren't, the golden some I mean, there's obviously hundreds of varieties of pumpkin, but the pumpkins that I specifically grew, I had imported the seeds myself from America, and they were decorative pumpkins. And so they probably ended up with all this tasteless pumpkin flesh, and they're like, "This, what the fuck? This is no good." But they're beautiful, giant hollow pumpkins because they're cultivated to be jack-o'-lanterns, not to be pumpkin pie. The pumpkins you want to make, the pumpkins you want to grow and cultivate for pies and stuff are more of the squash variety. They're smaller, they're denser, they have more delicious flesh, and yeah, so that was funny. And it kind of bummed me out because out of like, I don't know, I probably that very first year of growing pumpkins in the garden, I probably grew 50 or 60 pumpkins. And I only ended up getting like two or three for myself. They just, as soon as they saw them, coming to, they would wait day in and day out because they're retired, we're talking about like the seniors who would come out in the yard during the day. None of them had jobs. And so I'd work 2 or 3 hours before going to work each day and then work a 12-hour day and then come home and still carry water down from my apartment, in like 2 and 3 gallon jugs or whatever and water my pumpkins. And I wish I could participate in the group chat, man. Looks like you guys are having fun in there. Hey, Frater Marlowe is out there. Guys, I want to explain the situation over the last couple of weeks. My VPN has been blocked, and I've just been trying like the Dickens to figure some way out to connect to the internet. And every time I say this, the last couple of times I've been able to transmit, I lose my feed. So let me try to get this out there really quick. When my VPN's blocked, I can't check anything. I can't check email. I can't update my www.buymeacoffee/Frank Monday. I can't update or check that page. I can't respond to